Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to Cockpit Drivers Championship. My name is Zabi and I'll be taking you through for the stream and commentary action for tonight. We're here at round 1, season 1 at Bahrain. So this should be fantastic and we're about to have some great fun out there. It's going to be short qualifying and then one shot qualifying and then we'll move over to the race, which will be about 25%, which I think should be 14 laps. We might just have 4 drivers here tonight, but that doesn't mean that we won't get much action. That doesn't mean we won't get any action out there. Well, we're definitely going to be getting a lot of action and some great racing out there, and I'm unsure of how much the game audio is and what it is. I'm actually going through a rebuilding phase myself as well, but this looks enough for me in terms of the game audio being my own audio being more than the game, which is important for all of you to hear. So by looking at this, Simpish at the moment fastest of everyone, ahead of Commander Rex, who's in P2, Gapripa in P3, Speedo in P4. Oh, Speedo's going to have a big slide and in towards the wall. They're going to make contact, and by the looks of it, they might have damaged their wing. I wonder if damage is on or not by the looks of it. By the moment, Rex nearly goes off the track and almost invalidating their lap. They just about keep it within the white lines, and they'll be continuing on in P2 as Reaper is quite far behind them. And over the final corner now will be coming up Simpish, who's going to go over the line to make the checkered flag and take pole position, finishing up ahead of everyone in a one-shot qualifying. There isn't much you can do in a one-shot qualifying, but it is all you can do. It is all you actually have to do in a one-shot qualifying. It's just going to adjust these things on front of on the screen. So, one-shot qualifying, it's all you got to do it right now. You are not going to have much opportunities anymore. So by the looks of it, it is been a decent one. Hopefully the stream and everything will be okay as well. Might as well just have a look at it out on Twitch. As now that is it for qualifying. Simpish on pole with time 131.630. Commander Rex with 34.550. And in third place was Gapripa without a time. Or maybe he did put a time on board. In fact, Speeder didn't put a time on board, so he's going to be in P4. And I'm sure he'll be ready. And he definitely will be looking to improve. We'll be looking to do a better job than what he's done in qualifying, which everybody else as well, because you know that if you don't do enough in the race, you won't really be able to do much in this race if you do not cope up on it. So let's see as we do not wait, and we're ready to go racing with 4 cars out on track. There's more lights than cars out on track. 5 lights are out, and we go racing here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's going to be round 1 at Cockpit Drivers Championship. It's a decent start for Simpish. It's a good start for Rex as well, heading towards turn 1. He's going to go send it on the inside line. He's going to go very wide. He's going to outbrake himself, and his Simpish is going to go back onto the track in the lead of the race. Mino right behind. So everybody's on that soft compound side. Mino right behind is going to be Speeder in P3, who's jumped up. Gapripa, he made a big mistake on that race start, which eventually meant that he had to compromise. But Speeder is going to have a slide on his own, and that is going to be his compromised position as well. So those 2 guys at the back might just be having a fight of their own, having a thing on there and going on between themselves. The top 2 are going to be there with each other as well, so that's going to be interesting. That's a very good livery, I have to say, for Simpish and for Commander X as well, as these 2 are going to be within DRS range of each other Meanwhile, Gap Reaper and Speeder are not, but Simpage is going to go for it on the inside line. You'd have thought Commander's going to get him up, but no, as now Commander's going to lose that position up from Reaper, and Reaper is into P2, has taken the position. He simply had to keep it on track. He himself might not be able to do that about now. Goes a little bit wide, but comes back out on track. Meanwhile, ahead of Rex still. Rex in P3 as it stands. So far, meanwhile, Speeder is back 6.7 seconds down on these cars. The DRS will be able to, not at the end of at the start of lap 2, so not on this lap, but at the next DRS zone it'll be available. But he doesn't even need DRS. He's going to go for it on the inside line even without it, where he brakes absolutely late, out brakes himself, and he's going to have to rejoin right behind Reaper there, as Reaper's going to take that second place. There might just be 4 cars, but these guys are driving competitive. They definitely trying to put up a fight on, as Rex is out here in P3. It's definitely going to be a one-stop. Either all these guys can go to a medium or a hard compound tire, and by the stock and looks of it, it possibly looks like they're going to go for a set of mediums. That's what I believe they should do eventually, because that's also what's going to be most sense-making thing as well. As Simpish still leads ahead of Reaper in P2, 2.737 seconds, 2.7 seconds. Now between the top two. Meanwhile, Commander Rex in P3 with Reaper at 1.8 seconds ahead of him at the moment. Reaper is actually gaining a little bit on him there for a moment, you'd have thought. So he's doing a pretty decent job by the looks of it at this point in time. So it's going to be interesting, and it's definitely going to be on these guys to do what they can and to really show us what they can do at this point, considering. Ooh, Simpage got a fastest lap. Simpage has got a fastest lap with 3 laps in out of 14, and that's just going to be somewhat racing. Hopefully stream quality and everything is going to be fine. Definitely want it to be as good as it can be for race 1. We know Simpage 3 seconds now, and the gap has been increasing to Reaper, who's in P2 and has been doing a decent job so far for a lap and a half at this point, with Commander Rex losing time to Gap Reaper at this point, as it looks like. But maybe that time might be coming down now, because Reaper, as we were just about to say, that they haven't made a mistake. They nearly lose the car. They'll come back out still in P2, but it's going to be very tricky for them now, and that is going to be on with Rex in P3, and anytime he could well be taking that place and snatching it up ahead of Reaper. But will Reaper be able to defend and keep himself out of him on this DRS zone? Yes, he will be. Even though the rear wing is open on Rex's car, he'll not be able to get closer to Reaper on that straight. DRS is over, but slightly makes a mistake, does Reaper. Goes a little bit wide. Will he be hitting his braking zone around here perfectly? He nearly does though, but might have compromised on his entry there or exit as he went a little bit too deep into it. As Reaper is still in P2 within 1 second of DRS, but you could know that he is already pushing super hard, and he comes into the pits, and by the looks of it, it might just be either for a front wing, or maybe even for a set of medium tires he could be on, or maybe a set of hard tires he's going to be on. As by the looks of it, no front wing change, but a set of medium compound tires. And obviously only 14 laps, so a pit stop early enough to get off those soft tires, which are anyways not going to be lasting you much in a 25% race. And 14 laps, 4 out of 14 seem to be on the way, as our race leader has been doing a very good job so far, and they have kept it brilliantly. As we need to cut this off. Hopefully that was not on front of your screens, as This is happening nice and brilliantly, and are we going to see anybody else come into the pits so far? Speeder still going to be continuing on, and do they come into the pits now? No, they don't. They're going to continue on. Maybe you'd have thought they're going to come in, but no, they decided to continue on so far. Obviously, they don't have got much pressure. They don't really have anybody's pressure, so at this point, it's rather better for them to continue on and do what they can do. And our race leader is just going to be coming up to the end of this to the end of this lap as well, by the looks of it. So is it going to be coming at them coming into the pits, having only done 4 laps on these tires? No, they don't. But Reaper, I don't know why, did a lot less laps on those medium tires, so maybe there was some thinking behind it. But meanwhile, Rex Commander is going to come into the pits as well. Only 4 laps on those soft tires, and they're going to get a 10-second time penalty. That'll definitely make matters worse for them. Meanwhile, Reaper is just going to be making their way around the final corner now. They'll be pushing hard as much as they can, and that penalty, by the looks of it, is getting paid now. Unless there was something wrong with his pit stop, which is interesting to see. The penalty never really gets paid if you get it about in that exact same stop. So honestly, he's going to be really lucky if that penalty got paid, which I don't personally. Yep, it didn't. Eventually, definitely something was wrong with his car. Maybe he got a front wing change, which we didn't really see on the screen. That's probably my only guess. In terms of, what they can do and what an opportunity he could have had, and had he not had that delay, a possible opportunity to really, overtake Reaper. He could have almost overtaken the Reaper. He goes a little bit wide because 5 seconds of gap now, but by the time Reaper was about to make his way to turn 1, Rex came. So now that gap, just like before the pit stops, Reaper was gaining up but made a slight little mistake, allowed Commander to get closer, and that might just happen. And honestly, and possibly, that would be only the opportunity for him to really be there, honestly. Our race leader still continuing on to over into lap 6 and still being on those same soft compound tires. They haven't got no pressure. They don't need to worry about much, so they might as well just continue and get as many laps on those set of soft compound tires as they can. They're into lap 6. They could possibly pit at the end of this lap, which is what I am assuming they'll do eventually, to have the best opportunity to pit and really get themselves out on a set of medium compound tires. 6.5 seconds then between these two, and as I said, a mistake here at this point from Reaper could possibly be the only way, or the only reason Commander is going to catch up to him, because by the looks of it, Commander, or he might though, the gap that was 6.5 seconds is now 6.1 seconds. So maybe we might just be wrong here, because by the looks of it, Rex might just have a little bit more speed than Cap Reaper has at this point. Ooh, did Rex make a mistake there? Did we just see them make a mistake right behind the back from the camera angle of from the camera angle of Gap Reaper there? By the looks of it, that gap is only increasing, and 42 seconds he actually has to the next car, so that actually won't affect much in terms of his penalty that he's got. The 10-second time penalty is a lot, actually. So if it was in unusual circumstances, he maybe would have been losing a lot of positions. If, for example, if he had a full grid here, but obviously only 4 drivers, and with that, they've got 44 seconds gap. But Speeder has him pitted as well, which is interesting. I would have thought maybe Speeder has pitted, but he eventually has not pitted at all. So as our race leader, so P1 and 4, first place and last place have not pitted. The drivers in between have. which is interesting to see. Different sorts of thinking from all of these drivers, as Rex has again gained a bit of time on the Commander. So it could be all bit in between. A little bit of a help from Reaper if he does a little bit of a mistake, goes a little bit wide, or Rex could be pushing hard. And by the looks of it, he is definitely pushing as much as he can. And Reaper is harvesting as well, so that would mean that's definitely going to help Rex all the way in terms of speed, in terms of catching up to the car in front. And as we said, he's got the penalty, so not much is going to be changing if he even does overtake Reaper, unless he pulls away over 10 seconds. Meanwhile, Speeder is into the pits. Our third driver to pit in this race into... And he gets a... Oh, Simpish gets a penalty! As if that was going to affect his race for tonight by the looks of it. But as he comes into the pits by doing over 7 laps on those soft compound tyres, he's got a 10-second time penalty. And Reaper is just making their way around the final corner now. If not more, they possibly might just be within 10 seconds of each other. And if that is the case, that actually so far, by the looks of it, is the case. Unless Simpish could pull away, unless he could still continue on driving the way he was, it might be a little bit of a trouble for him, because he now has got a 10-second time penalty. And any of those drivers, be it Reaper or be it Speeder, could finish within 10 seconds of Simpish, could win this race. And realistically, it is Gap Reaper who has a chance of them all, because Speeder is over a minute behind, and Rex has got a 10-second time penalty. 3.7 seconds between these two, and he's going to go wide, and that will definitely not help him at all. Those mistakes are coming in at this point. I think Reaper just needs to drive how he is driving. Would only help, but despite their mistake, that gap still is 3.7 seconds. So interesting to see in terms of actually, how it is and what is currently going on with what can he do and how good can he actually do, and having to be within 10 seconds of Simpish. And if he can do that, it'll be a brilliant moment for Gap Reaper, one of our founders at Cockpit Drivers Championship, to win race 1 of season, first ever season. So he's definitely got the opportunity to take up. He's definitely got all the circumstances in his favor in terms of not many drivers around, still within 5 seconds of a 10-second time penalty. So he just needs to drive the way he is driving, which I believe will be enough, unless he makes a mistake or Simpish has some rapid speed. He's going to be able to pull away. Sure, Simpish have done a brilliant job. Nobody's going to take away from him that, but also, apart from the speed or pace he's got, he's simply just being consistent in terms of, let's say Rex, who made a couple of mistakes, so has been Reaper making a few mistakes here and there. So Simpish just has done one thing brilliantly, and that surely has to be the speed, the consistency that he's been driving it. And by the looks of it, so after the pit stops, Reaper has done a decent job as well. And at this point in time, 9 laps in out of 14, 5 seconds, 5.1 or 5 seconds a gap to within a 10-second time penalty. For you. Sure, Reaper is on all the medium tyres, but possibly that could affect in terms of, Simpish is only on a 1 lap old mediums, so he's definitely going to be having to make the most use of those tyres. And we could already see Simpish getting up that fastest lap, and Reaper 5.8 seconds the gap to in front. And now, as I was saying, the tire deficit could just come into play on Simpish. And before that, I was talking about the point of consistency. Others here and there have made mistakes. He has been the more consistent driver. He's been the driver. He's just kept it on track, just doing what he's done every single lap, and that has gained him over 6.3 seconds to the next car. Ooh, there's a yellow flag, and by the looks of it, that's going to be Speeder, and that will be Speeder indeed. Ooh, Speeder is actually lapped by our race leader, and about to get lapped by Reaper at this point. Within 10 laps, so he's still at P4. This might be the most points he scores for time being, obviously, but definitely, I mean, it's like you got to be there for what you need to take, and Reaper goes a little bit wide, and that's definitely not going to be good at all. And as I said, those things are not going to be good at all. And a little bit of a mistake there from Reaper could well affect his race in terms of what he's really going to be doing and what would he really have to do, as by the looks of it so far. And another mistake from Speeder there's going to be, or no, that's not Speeder, that's Rex, and he's coming into the pits for a second time. Unless that's for a front wing replacement. Interesting. I think he might just be coming in to also get that penalty removed, but then also get himself a set of soft compound tires as well. Speeder slides around and makes another mistake, and the gap between Simpish and Reaper is over 8.1 seconds, and one more mistake from the Reaper, and that'll simply easily allow Simpish to move away over 10 seconds. And definitely now the penalty is over 4. And oh, what is Speeder doing? And he's put it in towards the wall straight away. We caught him on camera this time around as he was just going around. He puts it in the wall. Not exactly sure how it was, but I believe he was beating the gravel, so he was simply just trying to get out of the way, and unfortunately in the end ends up hitting the wall. And our race leader, lap 11 out of 14, will just become lap 12 out of 14. And Gap Reaper might have just made another big mistake, because by the looks of it, it is over 18 seconds to the next car. And Reaper is coming into the pits about now. And are they going to be changing a front wing? Yes, they will be indeed. And a set of soft tires, that is going to be interesting. That's going to be it, and that's definitely a brilliant thinking in terms of, and definitely that was to cover up the undercut from Commander. You know, he pitted earlier on, and so I think, yeah, at this point, as I was saying, lap 12 out of 14 will turn 13, so not a lot to the end. And Commander, being on a set of the new medium tires, possibly, you know, you'd think that slight little bit of an issue, or slight little bit of a possible opportunity from him to take over Reaper. He could have easily done it earlier, and definitely, I mean, Reaper was going to do a two-stop anyways, considering he pitted very early and how early he pitted in this race, so definitely that would have been the case for sure. So interesting. I think that's going to be not much before the end of this race then. Hope you all are really enjoying it. There isn't much you can do in a 4-driver race, but still, I'm sure we're going to try and do all we can in a 4-driver race. And there's still a long way to go, but there might not be much, as now it could be a brilliant scenario for Rex, because he's got a penalty out of his way, but another driver has got a penalty, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is Gap Reaper, who possibly, while coming into the pit lane, has got himself a 10-second time penalty, and by the looks of it, at one point looked like he was going to win the race because of penalties to the next car. He might as well, might be on the way to lose even that second place at this point by the looks of it. That's going to be turning up about now, as there's a yellow flag at his speeder, who's been struggling to keep it out on track, but he still has managed to keep it out on track and finish this race. You have to surely agree that is more than enough in terms of starting with 4, finishing with 4, I have to say, is a decent for sure. Definitely for race 1, season 1, race 1. This is not a big deal in terms of only having 4 drivers. I think definitely we only go and build from here. We only, go slow and steady. So it's not it's not important that you have all 20 drivers for on race 1. It's okay if you have only 4 or 5, and I think it's better, right? It's, as they say, 2 is better than 1, 3 is better than 2, and 4 is better than 3. As Reaper now on those soft compound tires has got a fastest lap at this point, and exactly proves my point. Obviously, he was going to get that fastest lap on those soft tires, but if he is to drive consistently, make up on those mistakes, he could possibly challenge just like how Simpish has driven as well, in terms of speed, performance, and all they are gonna be doing tonight. And by the looks of it, Simpish is now over 45 seconds up ahead of the next car, so that penalty will not be making any effect at all. That penalty will not matter at all, and that is gonna be Simpish. He's gonna be coming over the line. He's gonna win round 1 and race 1 at the Bahrain Grand Prix, and finishes over 44 seconds ahead of the next car. Meanwhile, Reaper in P2 over 7.9 seconds to the next car. He's going to be pushing up as hard as he can as well. If he can gain over 10 seconds, which will be interesting. Which will be very tricky to gain, considering he's got a 10-second time penalty, but only a couple of corners to go. He has gained a few 10s. He's gained almost 7 10s, almost a second now within within one corner. What about this one? He's got 9 seconds to the next car into the final corner now, and that might just not be enough for him. He's going to come over the line to finish second on track, but after and finish in second place in race 1 at Bahrain, but with Commander over the line, that's going to push him down. And by the looks of it, Speeder has lost out and not finished this race here, but that's going to be the end, ladies and gentlemen. A good finish to this race, as Simpish has managed to win and finish ahead of everyone on that podium. Fastest race winner, fastest lap, driver of the day. Driver of the day, most overtakes, and cleanest driver for in a row for Reaper. And that is it. A 10-second penalty denied him P2, but this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we have for our round 1, season 1. Simpish in P1. Start at P1, finishes P2. Commander finishes P2 after starting at P2. Reaper, oh, yep, indeed. And that is going to be Reaper finishes P3, starting P3. Reaper could not finish, I believe. He DNF'd at the very end. But that's going to be the end, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you all watching enjoyed it. This was race 1, round 1 here at Cockpit Drivers Championship. We had a couple of delays before the start of the season, but it has happened tonight. Finally did. For the moment, which is brilliant to see, and hopefully we'll be back next week as well to have all the fun, and hopefully with a lot more drivers and some brilliant and more racing. So that's going to be the end, ladies and gentlemen. It was me, myself, Zabi, once more bringing you all the action around here, and see you soon. Next time, I'm out.